Hey everybody, today I'm going to be building a round brick gas fire pit. I've already got my gas line, you can see it stubbed out here. I've already got that buried. I had that buried when I had this back patio poured. So I'm going to be using brick. I've already split my brick, but if you don't know how to split brick, go ahead and watch my other video on how to split brick. First off, I'm going to tie the string around my stub out here, and I'm going to measure out 18 inches. That will be my radius, so my diameter is going to be 36 inches. So that's my 18-inch mark right there, and I'm just going to tie that pencil to that string, and you can see I've already done this, but you're just going to pull that string tight and make a circle. That's going to be my guide. This knot here is loose, that way the string's not wrapping around the stub out there, so the string's not getting wrapped around the stub when I tie it. So that way I'm just able to make a nice clean circle. So there's definitely a learning curve to using brick. It's my first time ever using it, so if you have any pointers, tips along the way, go ahead and comment if you've used brick before, but I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. Go ahead and watch and follow along. Alright, so when I laid my first brick, I just make sure every single brick I lay is level, side to side, front to back, and I also would do the face on these as well, just to make sure. But throw some mortar on the side of the second brick, and pretty much every brick after the first one you lay, and give a nice firm push down, scrape off the excess mortar so it doesn't get all over your level. Again, side to side, use the back of that kind of tap into place, get everything nice and level. And then right here I'm just kind of shifting my weight side to side between my hands and kind of getting that brick even with the first brick. And you want that level touching both bricks, so you make sure everything's got kind of a smooth transition throughout the whole fire pit. And you'll notice I'm throwing kind of my excess mortar, and eventually my brick scraps into the middle of the pit here because I'm going to be filling it with cement. So yeah, and something that I should have done before I started doing any brick was wrapping that my gas stub there with pipe wrap tape, just to make sure that those pipes don't rust through. But I do end up doing that at the end, and it's just a step I spaced doing. But just to make it easier on yourself, do that first before you do anything else. But basically, I'm just gonna show you a time lapse of my work here, and kind of slow down some key areas where I do like my drain and different other tips that I may have. But yeah, if you have any tips, please drop them in the comments. If you've worked with brick before, maybe to help out other people that may try this project as well. But I'm really happy with how it turned out, and should be a pretty solid gas fire pit for years to come. This tool here that I'm using is just a masonry joiner. It's got I believe it was a 3/4 inch and a 1/2 inch concave surface, and that really kind of cleans up each joint, kind of compresses that mortar, and I believe it makes the joint a little bit stronger. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it definitely cleans everything up for sure and makes it look great. So I do that. Use this tool about every third or fourth brick, just so the mortar doesn't dry up too much, and is kind of set in. Alright, so my second layer, I'm overlapping by half a brick. That's going to increase the strength and make it look a lot better too. Actually ended up taking this brick out because this is where I want my drain to go. So I've got this 1/2 inch face here. I just used my same brick splitting technique and just left that face. And I'm going to drill a hole in it. I'm going to drill a 1/2 inch hole, and I'm going to use PVC pipe to stick inside the hole, and that will act as my drain. So here I just draw a line corner to corner, a straight line, and then I'm going to use the diameter of that PVC pipe just to try to get right in the middle there. That way it looks nice and clean on the brick. Hope it won't be too noticeable either. Alright, so I'm just using my power drill and a 1/2 inch masonry drill bit. If you have an old crappy drill bit, I'm sure that would probably work too, but I had a masonry one laying around, so I'll use that. Alright, so here's my 1/2 inch PVC pipe sitting inside of the hole I just drilled out. I'll go ahead and install that piece. So my camera keeps dying while I'm doing this project, but it probably gets old watching somebody lay brick forever. But here's my drain right down here. Here's my drain hole, and then here I've got that PVC pipe sticking in that hole, and then kind of surrounded with mortar to kind of hold it in place while I finish working. But I'll install a 45-degree elbow and a longer piece of pipe, and then after I pour my concrete, I will snip that off and finish that process. So another tip for you, kind of get that brick right into place, rock that level, and if that level's rocking, then you know your bricks aren't lining up evenly. So I'll kind of get that brick level, and then I'll push down, make sure that that level's not able to rock back and forth any longer, and kind of tap it into place, make sure it's got a smooth transition from one brick to the next, and kind of go along with that. And keep making sure it's all level. Something else to note too, if you haven't worked with brick, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. I definitely did, and I don't really show many of them in this video, but yeah, I ended up taking off multiple bricks, especially when I do my cap. Took off probably 6 or 7 bricks just because didn't look right and I didn't like it. So if something's coming out of level, then go ahead and take off that brick and start over. Just take your time and make sure everything looks good. So this is generally what my capstone is going to look like. I don't have any mortar in yet, but I just dry laid it down so I can kind of get the positioning of each brick. I've also got my fire ring lightly screwed into place. I just use that so I can get my spacing pretty even. But here's my, I've already started the mortar here. I wanted to really get it down before I showed you, and honestly I thought I got a lot more footage than I did, but I guess I didn't. So really it's a lot similar to doing the other brick. You're just going to use a lot more mortar, so you want to make sure the consistency of your mortar is right where it needs to be, not too dry, not too wet, otherwise it's going to be hard to work with. But yeah, I ended up having to take off a lot of these bricks because I set them in and wasn't happy with how they looked. But just taking your time and being consistent is what's gonna make this look really good. So I will take out 2 bricks, the brick I'm laying and the brick next to it, just so I have a little bit more room. But I would kind of get a imaginary line there where I'm going to lay that brick so that I stay consistent with what I've already got laid out. So again, you're just throwing your mortar down like you would normal brick. I've got about a 2-inch overhang on my brick here on the outside. Slap your mortar on. And then when I throw this brick onto throw the mortar onto the brick, it's super thick, and I've got a kind of pizza shape there, with not really much to no mortar on that back end of the cap. It's super thick on the outside of the cap. And then I'm going to kind of set that into place, and I'm going to push this brick that's already set into the brick that's mortared in, and push down at the same time, kind of rock back and forth. Again, I'm making sure every brick that I lay is level, and there's generally a smoothness from one brick to the next. So kind of get that brick generally into place. And I'll take my trowel and I'll cut off all of the excess mortar that's been squished out. I'm also making sure that each brick is level, front to back, side to side, and the face of the brick as well is level. Definitely check the face on this cap because slight tilt can kind of make it look funky too. Alright, so here's the step I kind of forgot and I mentioned, pipe wrap tape. So I had to end up chiseling out a lot of that dried up mortar that was inside of my pit, cleaning out a lot of the dust and crap that was in there, but I've already gone ahead and done that. I spray painted my all the stub out and all the fittings as well, just for extra protection. Use the Rust-Oleum spray paint, but I'm going to be using this pipe wrap tape, and that just prevents anything from rusting through. You definitely don't want your gas parts rusting through if you're burying them or covering them with concrete like I'm going to be doing. Alright, so now that pipe wrap tape's on, I've got my fitting here. There's threads here. I'm going to fill that concrete up just below that point. I've also got my drain over here with my 45-inch extension and a cap so that no concrete gets into that drain. But I'll fill that up and cut that cap off once I'm finished. And also note, while I'm kind of smoothing out this concrete, I'm not going for anything pretty. It's all going to be covered up with lava rock, but I am kind of making it into a bowl as I fill that up, so that all of that any water that gets into here or any crap, I can just use the hose and clean that out, and all the water and crap will just flow right out of that drain. Just kind of bowling everything right towards that pipe there. Alright, and then I'm just going to go ahead and use my ratcheting PVC pipe cutters, cut off that PVC pipe as close to the concrete as I can. I'm doing this after about a day or two of the concrete hardening and curing. And I'll use my chisel away any excess concrete that kind of sticking up there. And then I'm using my little air rotary tool to kind of grind down the rest of that PVC pipe so that it's nice and flush with the concrete. And here I'm just giving a little test run, pour a little water, spray a little water into the fire bowl and make sure everything's draining really good. There's no pockets of water in any weird spots, but as you can see, everything's draining really nicely, and show you how that drains out the front of the pit here. See that all drained out really nicely, and I'm happy with it. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and attach my fittings and my fire ring. Got this is a 3/4 inch fitting on the bottom and a 1/2 inch insert on the top. And I'm going to use a 1/2 inch fitting, double-sided fitting here, using pipe dope, where I'm attaching all my connections just to secure the fittings and to prevent any gas leaks out of these fittings as well. But go ahead and screw that in, and then I'm also going to just kind of set in my extra brick that I've got, just to kind of act as a filler. Put a piece of tape over that opening of the pipe so that no debris gets down into there from the rocks, and I'll pour in my lava rock. I think I used about 3 bags. Bags were probably about 50 to 60 pounds each. And here I'll just screw on my fire ring. Once that's screwed on, I'll cover that with the remaining lava rock that I've got. Really want these to be pretty tight. Alright, and here's the gas pit with the lava rock on top of the burner. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the gas and get this lit and make sure everything's looking good. Really happy with this way this turned out. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them. Please like and subscribe if this video helped you with your project at all. But I'm really happy with the way this turned out. It should be really fun for summer and fall nights.